Naman notes, naman notes, naman notes, naman notes. Well, good morning, everyone, in the Las Vegas Buddhist Sangha. My message today is to continue on our discussion of the six paramitas. As we have been discussing, the six paramitas are the six Buddhist practices or bodhisattva practices that carry us from this shore of delusion to the other shore of enlightenment. And we have discussed the first paramita, which is giving or dana, and we discussed material giving, non-material giving, pure giving, and impure giving. The second paramita that we discussed was shila, or morality and ethics in Buddhism, and we discussed the 5 precepts. And the main point of that talk was that Buddhism is a teaching that goes beyond morality and ethics. Today, our topic is the third paramita, which is Ksanti, K-S, I added the H because it's pronounced Ksanti. It is translated as patience, sometimes tolerance. So that is our discussion for today. So the Japanese word for the third paramita is ninniku, but it is not garlic. So in Japanese, ninniku can mean garlic, but in the Buddhist context, it doesn't mean garlic. It refers to this third paramita. So when we reflect on it in terms of patience, we have to understand that the Buddhist path requires patience. There's that saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. It might take years, even a lifetime, for our deepened understanding of the Dharma. Nowadays, we hear often about young people who want to learn a martial art, like karate or kung fu, and they right away ask the teacher, how long will it take me to get my black belt? Well, you have to have patience. It might take years. The object of learning a martial art is that it is a discipline, and the objective is not necessarily the black belt, but many young people, of course, want to earn their black belt. In Buddhism, listening and learning is really a lifelong process. It's a lifelong undertaking, something we're going to follow for the duration of our life. D.T. Suzuki, one of the most famous Buddhists, he's probably most responsible for introducing Buddhism to the West. He was one of the earliest pioneers, authors of Buddhism. D.T. Suzuki, at the age of 95, he had a 5-year plan for what he wanted to study and do research or translate in Buddhism. Imagine being 95 years of age and having a 5-year plan for what you wanted to study for the next 5 years. Another definition of this third paramita is a person who is patient can endure long and be able to overcome many difficulties. So this other Buddhist definition of Ksanti is more than just patience, but it means to endure something, to stick through it, to hang in there. And we're reminded of the Japanese word gaman that maybe many of you heard growing up over the years. The gaman means you have to endure it. You have to tough it out sometimes. And life requires a certain amount of gaman to endure life's difficulties. Our pioneering Issei, like my grandparents, and our Nisei, like my parents' generation, they endured a tremendous amount in their lives. They lived through depression, World War, extreme prejudice and discrimination, being sent to internment camps. I mean, compare that to what we're going through now. This pandemic is really lightweight in comparison to what they had to go through, what they had to gaman in their life. So during this coronavirus pandemic, I think patience takes on a new meaning for us. It seems that people might be kind of on the verge of a breaking point. They're so sick and tired of being cooped up at home. They can't go to restaurants, they can't go to movies, they can't go to the casino. And so they're just so anxious to get back out again. But as Buddhists, we can apply the teachings. We can practice the paramita of patience during this difficult time. We have to stick it out a little longer. We have to be patient. But our modern lifestyle, we really hate to wait for anything. We don't want to wait at a signal light. Sometimes I'm coming to a stoplight, the lights turn yellow, I have plenty of time to stop, and zoom, some car goes zooming past me, runs the red light. They don't want to even wait for the amount of time it takes to stop at a red light. Waiting in line. We have instant this and instant that, instant ramen, instant coffee, anything we can imagine we can get in an instant. So we don't have much patience. The classic novel, Siddhartha, written by Hermann Hesse, I read it many, many years ago. I think English literature classes, maybe in high school, maybe in college, it's a required text. It's a very famous novel. Maybe some of you have read it. But Hermann Hesse studied Buddhism, and then he wrote a novel that really expressed a lot of Buddhism in his novel. So the main character is named Siddhartha, and Siddhartha leads a very comfortable life and renunciates the secular world, lives as a monk or a mendicant, has no home, no possessions, nothing. But in the novel, there's a wonderful line in which Siddhartha says, although I have nothing, but yet I can think, I can wait, and I can fast. Well, I can't fast for not even one day. I mean, just look at me. But what all of us can do, I think, is that we can think and we can wait. So this pandemic is a real test of our patience. And we can wait it out. It might be a long time still, but it won't last forever. If we can wait, we'll be able to endure it, and we can choose to practice patience, and even more patience. But there's one other definition of Ksanti that I happened to find on the internet, and it was quite interesting. This definition said that the Paramita Ksanti means the ability to not be perturbed by anything. Isn't that an interesting expression? But normally, all kinds of things and people perturb or bother us. Maybe another person's little habits, something they do annoys you. Maybe they pop their gum when they're chewing it, or maybe you don't smoke and to be next to a smoker perturbs you. So all kinds of things perturb us. But we can practice patience, we can endure difficulties, and we can try to not be perturbed by things in life. And that is the meaning of the paramita of Ksanti, the third paramita. Patience, being able to endure, not being perturbed by things and people in our life. I hope that you find this paramita of Ksanti something very practical, something very challenging for us to try to live by and to practice in our everyday life. Naman Navats, Naman Navats, Naman. Thank you very much for listening today.